Aloha, I'm Lahaina Lee. Welcome to our special Maui Real Estate Advisor series on buying, selling, and investing in Maui real estate. Today, we're going to dive into land tenure. Ooh, sounds exciting, right? Well, if you're looking for a condo on Maui and you see a screaming deal with a price that just seems too good to be real, you're probably right. It's probably leasehold. So we'll tell you the difference between leasehold and fee simple. We'll fill you in on some of the costs that you might not otherwise think about and answer the big question: what happens when this lease runs out? Every now and then, I hear a potential buyer say, I hear that all land on Maui is on a 99-year lease. Well, let me put that myth to rest. The vast majority of condos here and Hawaii in general are fee simple. That being said, there still are some leasehold properties out there, and it's important to know what you're getting into before you fall in love with that dreamy oceanfront unit that looks like that aforementioned screaming deal. So what is the difference? Fee simple is a simple option. This one's easy. It's what most of us are familiar with. If you own a home or a condo, you likely own the building, which is the improvement, and the land for your house, or an undivided interest in the land if you own a condo. In short, you own your building and the land it sits on. Leasehold is the you own it, but not all of it option. Leasehold is a bit more complicated. In a condominium development that has leasehold or is leasehold, you own your unit, your neighbors own their units, and collectively all of y'all in the association own the building or buildings. But you don't own the land underneath the buildings. Someone else owns the land. Now, you might be thinking, well, I may have to make a monthly payment to rent my share of the land, but at least I don't have to pay the property taxes on the land since I don't own it. Well, that's logical, but unfortunately incorrect. The condo owner still gets the honor of paying the portion of tax that's allocated to somebody else's land. Because why not? It's a great deal for the landowner. And speaking of lease payments, how does that work? Well, leases typically run for about 50 years, and during that time, your monthly lease payment may change. And by change, I mean go up. Those payments are usually renegotiated every 5 to 10 years, and while it would be nice to think they'd decrease when the real estate market dips, I wouldn't hold my breath. When you buy a leasehold property, you get a lease agreement that lays out all the terms, including how and when the lease rent will be negotiated, and of course, when the lease ends, and what happens if you forget to pay your lease payment. Spoiler alert, it's not good for you. Now, that lease payment is not set for the life of the lease. Those get renegotiated. And when it's time to renegotiate your lease, typically, but not always, your condo association board will engage a company that specializes in lease negotiations. Your association may hire an appraiser to determine the value of the land. Sometimes both the landowner and the association will hire their own appraisers, and then those two appraisers may hire a third neutral appraiser. See the costs going up there? They're trying to get to an unbiased value of the land. Now, the lease payments are then typically based on the updated property values. So when property values were skyrocketing, lease payments followed suit. Now that values are dipping a little bit, will the lease payments come down? Call me a skeptic, but I just wouldn't bet my Mai Tai on that. Now, when you're looking for condos, one odd thing that you might see is that in some complexes, there are leasehold and fee simple condos in the same complex. Many of the complexes that are now fee simple, like most of Kaanapali Shores and Papakea, were once leasehold. Over time, either individual owners or the AOAO, the association, were able to negotiate with the landowner to buy the fee. That means they converted the property from leasehold to fee simple. At both Kaanapali Shores and Papakea, the fee, the land rights, was offered to the individual owners. Some of those owners chose not to buy the fee. So today, at those properties and a handful of others, you see the odd situation of a mix of both fee simple and leasehold ownership in the same kind of development. As you can see, there are some potential risks and challenges with leasehold properties. In the past, the risk was offset by much lower purchase prices for the leasehold properties versus the fee simple. And to a certain extent, that's still true today. But today, those leases are maturing and getting much closer to the end of their lease period. So the challenges of owning leasehold increase as you get closer to the end of the lease. Your condo's value will likely decline because, well, it's uncertainty, there's risk of the lease ending. And when the lease expires, well, one of three things is usually going to happen. First, you get a chance to buy out the lease, and then you can convert it to fee simple. The thing is, in today's market, it could cost you several $100,000 to do that. The second option is the landowner, easy for me to say, could renegotiate the lease, allowing you to continue with your lease agreement and a new term. Third, the landowner tells you to pack your bags and you no longer own the condo. Yeah, that's right. It goes back to the landowner and you walk away with, well, some nominal compensation and memories, probably some great memories. And while the last option isn't common, it has happened. In some cases, former owners were forced to leave, and if they received any compensation, it was nominal. The bottom line, leasehold properties can still be a good deal if they are priced significantly lower than their fee simple counterparts. But they do come with some added risks. Understanding those risks and having a plan for the future is key to making the right choice, because the last thing you want to do is be enjoying your cup of coffee on your lanai and suddenly it occurs to you that your lease is up and you don't own that condo anymore. All right, that's our brief but spectacular take. Oh, no, wait a minute, that's another show. I'm not infringing on anybody's copyrights here. That is our take on leasehold versus fee simple. And so if you have any questions or if you have any comments, we'd love to hear from you. Just drop those comments in the section below. Hit that subscribe button because we've got a lot of more information to get to you. But for now, that's it for today. And this is Lahaina Lee in Not Lahaina saying aloha.